when AI takes over everything, what do you think you would do? Like, if you got, let's say you got an AI sales team, AI building the product, like.
I mean, we have to be prepared for the fact that all online business won't exist. That's going to happen. That's not a prediction. Like, that is where entrepreneurship will go. Like, we will all have. First of all, we all have to. Everyone has to have enough money just to live for the rest of their lives. Like, you have to have that. Like, within the next 20 years. Yeah. Like, that's a non-negotiable. Because the only thing that's going to matter is going to be the pillar companies at the top of the tree. So what's going to happen? Let's talk about it in agency. Agencies automate everything. Okay, so all of a sudden, client fulfillment's automated, sales is automated, all of it's done. So an agency isn't doing anything. You're just like operating something. Well, then that turns into software. You know, so an agency will just roll into software, and then eventually every software will be like what Go High Level is at the moment, where they do roll-ups. You know, and they're rolling up all these other softwares. So software will then roll up into larger entities. So you'll have one big company that manages the entire, you know, agency industry, and then eventually they'll all just merge and they'll be acquired by each other, and it'll just be a couple of big companies that manage the entire online space. Like, that's how it will end up going. At which point we're going to be, you know, I'll be selling bonsai trees probably. That's where I'll be. But we're going to be back in physical business trying to figure it all out. But AI will outdo online business at some point in our lifetimes. Yeah. I can't see how it won't possibly end up happening unless governments stop it happening. But then there's no incentive for them to do that because more money will be printed if it is all just automated.
So if you enjoy this conversation and you relate with the health and wealth aspect, and you know both of these are very important when it comes to scaling a business or just as an entrepreneur in general, you know, top link in the description if you want a more personalized approach, you know, to scaling a business or in the health aspect as well. And also in the description is access to our free community where we've got 20 hours of content that you can just consume. So yeah,
100%. If you enjoy this conversation, share it to a friend. Maybe think about subscribing, put the notifications on. It helps the channel a lot. And by doing so, we can get some more interesting guests like this. So yeah, let's get back to the video.
So I don't know what we're gonna do, like, honestly, because the personal brand, like, you're not gonna be doing the content. Like, it's just gonna be AI sitting here, like, doing the video. So it's
Well, I think platforms will rebel against that. I think that at least initially, like we're already seeing with like TikTok ads and stuff. Like if an ad is made by AI, you have to have the badge, and it will eventually start getting penalised for that. And like UGC content, you know, like UGC content is you got AI UGC, like user generated content, which is selfie style videos. Already that's inauthentic because it's not actually customers that are recording that, it's UGC creators, right? Which is kind of a strange paradigm. Like, you've got people that aren't product owners that are recording videos about the product, so it's like a fake testimonial. Though even that, like, there'd be a badge for authenticity. We're going to have AI badges on ads. There's going to be AI badges on YouTube, and you'll be penalised for it. So I think we're a fair bit away until psychology will have to change. I think people will have to be open to watching AI completely, like, rather than watching a human. But then by the same sentiment, we've already said that art is now the most important thing, and story is the most important thing. So it's kind of a juxtaposition. It will be the most important thing until it isn't, and people are just sick of hearing about people, and they're now going straight to the information.
It's already kind of AI, you know, like people at the other side of the screen, like, they're watching at pixels. So when this, it is crazy. I don't know. It's they say in 2030, 2020 is going to look like ancient.
I believe.
That's why, I mean, like, it's so difficult to plan like 10, 20 years ahead.
That's why the biggest skill is adaptability. Especially now.
I firmly, that's a good point. I firmly believe that just playing the best cards with the hands, the best hand with the cards you currently dealt is your best option. And I also think that's why because my main philosophy is living in accordance with nature, you know? And so coming back to like all this AI stuff and like bionic arm and stuff, like, it's tough. And it's gonna be an interesting couple of next years. And I'm excited.
I do also think, though, we're in a state of hysteria, and I don't think it will happen as quick as we all think it will. I think, like, because it's moved so quick since ChatGPT, because when ChatGPT came along, like, it just slapped us all in the face, and we were like, what the hell is going on?
When was that? Like 2 years ago?
That's 2016, actually.
Really?
It
was a while, but it was only a couple of years ago that it was like November of like 2023 or something. Like, everyone started using it, but it was around for a while, but mainly developers were using it like before that. But it has moved quick, and it is innovating. But like, it's going to be a while until we get to the place where we're
That's the
saying,
thing, yeah,
you know,
that's the
we're
thing.
talking like 10, 20 years.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I think AI is going to be here, but humans are going to take longer to adapt. So I think the technology is going to be like, but humans are still going to be like, yeah, I don't know all about that. But then there's going to be like the first movers, which is like, I don't care, like I bionic arm, like everything. So
it's also going to be that generation, bro. It's like, it's almost like our parents looking at us with like these devices and like, oh, how does Instagram and stuff, like they have no idea. For us, it's second nature. Imagine our children being born in a time where there's AI robots like cleaning your house. Like that's going to be, for them, it's going to be so normal.
Yeah.
Like they're going to go to school and the guy's going to have like the
there's not gonna
the
be a-
Apple 6 arm.
the car's going to drive by itself.
But it's like, but in business, like I look at the young guys who are starting today, like who are just going to be absolute weapons when they're my age. Like when they're 30, they're going to be weapons. They're like, there's 16-year-old kids starting these AI agencies who like, and sure they don't have a depth of experience, but like they're signing up clients, they're making like 10K a month. Like there's like, that's happening, you know? And even if you're like starting a business at like 20 now and you're starting from scratch with AI. So like my agency, we have over 100 SOPs in the business, like documents, processes and so on. We have like, we've had thousands of clients over the years. We have all our set in stone ways of doing things. For us, with AI, you could, on one hand, you could say, well, okay, you plug AI into all of that stuff, and you're gonna, you know, it's gonna be much easier for you. But on the other hand, like we've got to unravel all of this human shit that we did. You know, we've got to unravel all of the systems to try and figure out where we can adopt AI. Other people are starting an agency from scratch, using it from the start, and so the whole dynamic of the business is different, and it's a different level of understanding. Like I think like these, like people who are starting right now don't realize how big of an opportunity they've got. Like it's actually mental how much of an opportunity.
Also, like objectively speaking, we are in the best times ever, but everyone is anxious. Why do you think that's the case? Like, you know, there's 20-year-olds that can become millionaires where 50 years ago, like that was not even a question.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of don't even want to talk about this because I think it's a secret source. But so the AI anxiety is something that I'm talking about a lot at the moment because people are anxious about AI in the sense that there's uncertainty, they don't know where it's going to go. This reminds me of when I first started my agency, which was Facebook ads. Facebook ads used to say Facebook ads for people, and it made people feel how they feel about AI right now. So you'd mention it, and they'd be like, "Shit! If John down the road is running Facebook ads, I need to be running Facebook ads." And they thought their business was going to fail if they don't adopt social media because the press is always looking for something to scare people on. Right now, it's AI. Back then, it was like social media and business, but not even on this same scale. Like now, it's like everyone. It's a completely different scale. But like the whole reason I was able to hit 10K a month in 3 months was I was just selling fear. Like I would go into businesses, I would talk about a competitor that was already running Facebook ads, and they'd be like, "Fuck me, they're going to take my business," and they'd want to run Facebook ads. And then for years, we haven't been able to leverage that. We haven't really been able to use that strategy. But now, if you approach a business owner, which every agency owner for years has been like, "I'm going to get you 5 more leads. Can you handle 5 more appointments? Like, can you do this?" It's growth, 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 growth. Now it's like John down the road's using AI to steal leads, or like John down the road is using AI to generate 10 new appointments per month. It's all fear-based selling again. Like so. That AI anxiety in itself is such a weapon. Increased conversion rate across the board. Like.
I think the skill to focus on currently is just adaptability and staying present. I feel like that's really the main thing. We're all coming back to like the ancient days again, where like the robots are taking over and we just like at the back end, just like looking at it and observing it.
Legacy and purpose and just mainly that entire, like, how should I say, just that paradigm is a very big theme in the School of Athens. Looking back on your current journey and maybe projecting to where you want to go in the future, what is one thing that you want Jordan Platten to stand for, like, and be known for? That's a big question.
It's a big question. It was like, what do you believe in one
what
sentence?
does God mean?
Why are we all here?
Who is God?
Like you see, this is one of those questions that like I'm going to answer right now, and then I'm going to go for a walk on Sunday and be like, that was the answer, you know. So there's no answer I can give right now that's going to satiate my internal desire to answer this question properly. What do I want Jordan Platten to be known for? What comes to mind is helping people, but that isn't really what I want. I do want to help people. Let's not get that wrong. But that's not what I want to be known for. I want to be known for being ruthlessly honest and upfront with people, and I want to be known for not buttering up anything and not making things seem easier than they are, not painting a picture of this dream life. I want to be known for being an authentic person who's lived life to his fullest in nature and being unapologetically honest and transparent alongside that. And if people like it, then great, and if they don't, then fuck them, and that's all.
Do you believe in like the whole purpose thing and legacy? For like in the long term, maybe your immediate family, but like long-term legacy?
I think Kanye West said something like that.
I believe in long-term legacy. I don't yet think I've hit a stage of career sophistication to truly know what my legacy is. So I do believe that to be true, but I think that's a lifelong journey, and I think it's probably going to take me a little bit more time to establish what that means. But 100%, I deeply want to live longer than my life on this earth. I want to be remembered, and I don't know what that looks like yet. But it's definitely something that sits in my subconscious.
Just you said that, I was thinking a good way is really the content, and books is also a good one. The way your legacy kind of lives through other people.
But even with that, even with that, and so like I've got content that will, it's definitely not content that's going to live forever. I mean, it would if you looked for it, but like, has it got reason to? No. But like, to really actually have a real legacy, you need to do something so profound that separates you from everybody else, and having a successful agency isn't going to do that. Making some money isn't going to do that. Hanging out in nature isn't necessarily going to do that. I think you have to do something more profound to truly live on, regardless of the mechanism of that, because the books and the content, they'll exist, but who's going to search for it,
Yeah.
Like Marcus Aurelius, living in accordance with nature, stoicism, that's legacy.